I only had one horse that could run. That's Dr. Fager. He could run. And he was my brother. He was my brother. He was my banker. And he was everything. And I was lucky I owned 25% of him. I never put my name on the program because I wanted Mr. McKnight to take the vows. But he was everything.
No one told a story quite like the late, great John Nerud. Somber news this morning, in fact, hopping on Twitter around 11 a.m. and seeing that John Nerud, at 102 years old, passed away. Condolences to the family. Rest in peace to a legendary trainer whose lasting mark on thoroughbred racing, I think, will live forever.
Yeah, and even beyond the training, just what he meant to the game, promoting the game, helping create the Breeders' Cup, what he meant to breeders, what he meant to the backstretch workers, what he meant to the game at large is amazing. And you think about it in this context, he was alive for every single one of the 12 Triple Crown winners. Talk about seeing it all.
Just incredible. Richard Migliore, Jason Blewitt, glad you're with us here on this Thursday edition of Saratoga Insider. And where do you begin with the legendary and the great John Nerud? Born in Nebraska, served in World War II, trained a handful of champions. Forever, though, however, I think linked with Dr. Fager. And we just caught up with John a couple years ago when he turned 100. And still, I mean, could tell a story like few can.
No, absolutely, and to be that sharp after being over 100 years old. And, of course, we'll always think of him with Dr. Fager, Tawi, gallant man. But some of the horses that maybe didn't get some of the credit they thought, I go back, I think about O'Gaijin in the mid-'80s. This was about as talented a racehorse as you're ever going to see. Unfortunately, he wasn't that sound, but he was brilliant. And we're watching him here in the futurity. I mean, he just is running away from, I believe that's Groovy on his inside. I mean, he handled horses that were great horses in their own right. And unfortunately, O'Gaijin probably never got to fulfill all of his promise, but he was brilliant.
Won 7 of 10, 1 second, retired from training with just under $500,000 in career earnings. You still every now and then will come across a broodmare who's got O'Gaijin as her sire, and the same can be said for Fabiano, who I didn't realize John Nerud bred and owned and raced Fabiano, who would leave a lasting impression and an indelible mark on the game. And he's on the inside, by the way, as we look at the 1981 Metropolitan. He would go on to be the sire of Unbridled.
Yeah, and just a great horse in his own right as well. Angel Cordero aboard here. Mr. Nerud loved Angel. And actually, I've got a horse on my farm out of a Fabiano mare, some royal breeding there. With all that pedigree to back them up, too, you see that quality come out. Just like you say, when you see that name come up, horses usually, even generations later, show that class.
And it didn't take the founding father or one of the founding fathers of the Breeders' Cup all that long to win a Breeders' Cup race. In fact, 1985. Let's go to the gritty streets of South Ozone Park, Queens, and the mighty Cozy in the gray in the Breeders' Cup Mile.
And this was fitting for Mr. Nerud to win a Breeders' Cup. He was one of the founding fathers of it at a New York track, I mean, where he did most of his good. Cozy, a beautiful gray horse by Cairo. I actually broke his maiden on the dirt, and he was really good that day. And they pointed him. That was one gift that Mr. Nerud had, and he imparted it to his son Jan, that they would point a horse for a particular spot. They might not be at their best to start before, or maybe 2 starts before, but on the right day they had them ready.
And maybe a tongue-in-cheek name to the final horse or final winner of the great John Nerud in Final Chapter. I mean, despite the fact the guy's over 100 years old, was still involved with breeding and racing a couple of New York breds every single year. Comedy of Errors was his big broodmare, at least of late, and she has thrown a bunch of multiple New York bred winners, the latest of which, Final Chapter from this past winter down at the Big A, and maybe that was in John's way of saying, so long, farewell. I just smile when I think of the name and just everything he accomplished in a great life.
Well, and think about his sense of humor. You know, to know that you're at basically towards the end of your life and to be able to almost laugh at it. But he lived such a full, rich life. And the horseman, the trainer that had Final Chapter, Michael Hushin, very much in the same ilk as a John Nerud, that old school, old-fashioned, hard-working horseman that just knows horses inside and out.
Real salt of the earth. No one could quite spin a tale like John Nerud. We say rest in peace. Thanks for the memories, and your mark in thoroughbred racing will live on forever. We turn the page. Little tough to do here on Insider, but so long and farewell to a great man. And we come home here to the action on another weekend at Saratoga Racecourse. $500,000 guaranteed late pick 4, and one of your favorites, Sports, talking about some names from yesteryear. 4-Star Dave will have his namesake on Saturday.
Yeah, and it's only fitting that he has a race named from up here, a horse that won so many years in a row. This is last year's edition with Seek Again squeaking through on the inside. I think Seek Again likes to run on the rail. He likes to be in tight. He gets his blood up. He gets Julian Leperoux for this one. First time Julian's riding him. It'll be interesting to see if he's clued in to that horse's idiosyncrasies.
All right, it'll be an 11-race card. 1 p.m. the first post. We'll have the 2-year-old stakes, middle portion of the meet, the Adirondack and the Saratoga Special. Getting down to it, just about at day number 20. Hope you'll join us. What about today? Fabulous fillies. You look good in that pink shirt. I've got the pink shirt. We hope you've got the pink shirt. I think I see a pink wristband out there. Track was packed. It was a feel-good vibe throughout the afternoon, and let's see what shook out in Thursday's feature, the Statue of Liberty with Larry Comas.
And it's Freudian who comes out running on the lead. Dreamboat Annie's got speed. Psychiatry from the inside. Arietta on the far outside. And Cosmic Serenity. And then comes Rockin' Alley, followed by Perfect Freud, who's third last early. And the trailers are Amazing Anne and Loon River as they race into the turn, headed by Freudian. And Dreamboat Annie is running in second position. 3/4 of a length behind as they head to the backstretch. Psychiatry third, Arietta fourth, and Cosmic Serenity. The opening quarter mile was in 23 seconds flat. Then comes Rockin' Alley to the outside in sixth, breaking up another 3 lengths more. Back to Perfect Freud, seventh on the back stretch. And then it's Amazing Anne and Loon River trails the field. So they continue their way up the back stretch with Freudian and Jose Ortiz leading the way. It's Freudian in front by 2. Going past a half mile in 47 seconds flat. Dreamboat Annie second to the outside. Psychiatry is running in third. Rockin' Alley is fourth in the far outside. Then it's Cosmic Serenity between horses Arietta. 2 lengths back to Perfect Freud. Loon River to the inside. And last of them all, but beginning to gain ground, is Amazing Anne. And here she comes. And caught in traffic there was Loon River. Around the far turn, Freudian is the leader. Psychiatry confronts her on the outside second. And then it's Rockin' Alley in third. Cosmic Serenity cuts the corner. On the far outside comes Amazing Anne and Loon River, and they're into the final furlong. Freudian by 2.5. Psychiatry is second. To the outside, Loon River is third. Then comes Amazing Anne. It is Freudian. Freudian by 3. Loon River's going to be second best as they come down to the line. Freudian won it. And then it was Loon River, Psychiatry, and Amazing Anne.
9 went to the post in today's Statue of Liberty. The prolific New York stallion Freud sired 6 of them. You do the law of averages, he was bound to win, and when he did, Freudian, high cruising speed, lights out, good night.
Well, it was also a Freud trifecta, the first 3 finishers, but speed is good. You know, I think about that movie Wall Street. Greed is good. Well, speed is good. And Freudian goes to the lead under a heads-up ride by Jose Ortiz and takes some flag fall to that's all. What's wrong with going to the lead?
Nothing wrong with going to the lead. It's not how fast you're going, it's how you're going fast, said one Wiseman. Eddie Keneally alongside the MIG in the post-discussion of the Statue of Liberty.
Eddie, Freudian, when she hits the front and gets comfortable like that, she's tough to beat.
He rode her really, really well. He rode her with a lot of confidence. She broke sharp. He put her in the race going to the first turn. Jose, he knows this filly really well, and couldn't have gotten a better ride.
It seems like she can run on any surface. She's been successful on dirt, but she's undefeated on turf. Are you going to concentrate just on turf for her now?
I think that's her best thing. Long on the grass is probably what she's best at. But she's a talented filly, so she can do other stuff. But she's much better going long on the grass.
The way she handled this field today, any thoughts about trying her in open company anytime in the future?
It'll happen. It will happen. I don't know when, but we'll look at the rest of the schedule going forward, and there's a few suitable spots for her through the fall. So we'll make the decision as we get a little closer.
Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jose Ortiz, 3 wins on the afternoon. We'll look at a few of his other highlights on day number 18. Eddie Keneally, just a good job all around with Freudian. And I guess, Mig, it goes back even in your post-race discussion, setting a horse up to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. When you can put horses in races where they can excel and show their talents, too many times a horse will get good and a horseman will put them in a spot where they're setting them up to fail. And a horse only has so many good efforts in them, so many A efforts. Your best horsemen, they use them up when they count, and they win races with the B and C efforts when they can.
We don't want any B or C efforts on tonight's show.
No.
A all the way. We'll go for that buyer of 110, mid-teens. Let's see what shakes out on the remainder of Saratoga Insider. We've got a lot more coming your way on MSG Plus, including fillies and mares going 9 furlongs.
The new Parks Fall Festival will double purses for each of its 32 live racing days. What an opportunity for Pennsylvania breds. In an open maiden special, PA breds will run for over $100,000. So be there at Parks in the fall.
Hello, I'm Brian Sanfratello. Last year, we paid $33 million to PA breds in the form of breeder awards, owner bonuses, and restricted race purses. Our Equine Coalition Group is united in the pursuit of making sure that we receive every dollar we deserve. And that's why our Racehorse Development Fund has been constant in the past 4 years. Please go to our website at www.pabred.com or give me a call at 610-444-1050.
Well, I'll tell you, he was the greatest man in my life, and not just because he was a great horseman, but he was just such a motivating factor and always made me want to be the best I could be. He was always there for me to listen, whether it was a personal issue or horse-related. I don't know that there's anybody left like him. His integrity, number one, was huge, and he instilled it in all of the people that have worked for him and all the people around him. And his originality, his imagination, and his base in horsemanship, starting from a little kid and just winging it. I mean, he learned as he went, you know. He learned from other people, but he also learned by his own mistakes, and he wasn't afraid to try and make them, and he wasn't afraid to tell you when he made them. I don't think we'll ever see anybody like him again. He was the greatest horse trainer that ever lived.
And we share those sentiments there with the mighty Alan Jerkins. We remember the Chief every single day, but on Saturday it is all about the great H. Alan Jerkins on Four-Star Dave Day at Saratoga Racecourse. And the thing with Leah, and that was Leah Giamatti, by the way, famed horse racing trainer, I think her story pretty much could be repeated by anybody else who came across the path of Alan Jerkins.
Yeah, and you could see, you know, how powerful her words were, how powerful the emotion she was feeling speaking about him, and how much he meant to her and so many other people. He just was there for everybody, and he would teach you, and if you listened, you could learn. He was just a one-of-a-kind. And legend, it doesn't even embody everything that he meant. And part of the old guard, when you think about, I mean, bigger-than-life types like Alan Jerkins, John Nerud, they just don't make them like they used to, right? Sure doesn't seem like it, you know, and obviously time marches on, and we're going to lose these great pillars of racing, but it's important we don't forget them. So I'm really glad that we're embracing their memory, and we're going to keep it alive. We have to keep it alive. We'll have Jimmy here on Saturday, along with the remainder, or the rest of the Jerkins family. There'll be a number of video tributes throughout the track, throughout Saturday. It'll be a lot of fun to see and catch up with the Chief. I mean, those are memories that will last, much like John Nerud, forever. Let's move on to race number 5. We'll get you back to the action here. Fillies and Mares ready to throw it down. 5.5. on the Mellon Grass course as we go back to Larry Colmus.
They're off. A slow start there for Iroquois Girl. It is Spark who fires out fast for the front. Lorican Disco on the outside goes with Spark early, and Asia is away running in third right behind them. Then Spectacular Me. Dauphine Rousse is 5th in the initial stages here, 6 lengths off the lead. And then it's Iroquois Girl on the inside, and Enchanted River trails the field as they race for the turn, and Spark is in front. Eric Concel and Spark complete a quarter in 21 and 4/5 seconds, and they lead by 1.5 lengths over Lorican Disco second. Spectacular Me follows in third, still about 4 lengths off the lead. A ground-saving run for Asia. Dauphine Rousse has work to do, 6 lengths to make up at the top of the stretch, and it's Spark in front. Spark into the final furlong, keeps a 2.5 length lead on Spectacular Me and Lorican Disco. Dauphine Rousse and Iroquois Girl trying to make up some ground. Spark still there. Here's Spectacular Me. Spectacular Me runs by Spark. Late move from Dauphine Rousse. Spectacular Me won it. Dauphine Rousse got second, and then came Iroquois Girl.
There's very little predictability once the gate closes and they open up the doors. But you enter Spectacular Me, they spring the latch. More often than not, she's predictable because she just finds a way to win. It's incredible. Now 12 for 37.
Yeah, I'm just a horse that wants it, and 8 seconds to boot. And what an astute claim. 25,000 for this mare. She had 1 second, moved up. Now she's got back-to-back wins for over, well, 50,000. This was an hour in allowance condition, $90,000 purse. Great job by Steve Caceres. Nice ride by Jose Ortiz.
Another highlight with Jose Ortiz. Steve Sigler's orange winning move silks in the winner's circle. Stevie K in the winner's circle as well. 5-year-old mare by Caddy Enos. Let's move on to race number 7. This was the 9-furlong filly and mare test we talked about before going to the first break. Field of 6, and back to Larry.
Mei Ling is away running in second, and then it's Silver Pockets Full and Equilateral on the outside. These 4 out the best. Right behind them is Just Got Out, who's down on the inside, going by a couple of horses now up into 4th. The trailer is I'll Take Charge, who settles at the back of the field and races 6.5 lengths off of front-running Jet Majesty. Jet Majesty sets the pace. Mei Ling in pursuit in second. Very hard to settle on the inside here as Just Got Out. It was come through on the inside and Just Got Out throwing her head up and down there. Running in third on the inside after an opening quarter mile in 24 and 2/5 seconds. And just to the outside it's Silver Pockets Full, who's running in 4th by another 2.5. After that it's Equilateral and I'll Take Charge as the field continues up the backstretch. And the leader is Jet Majesty. Mei Ling 3/4 of a length behind. And then it's Just Got Out to the inside. Silver Pockets Full 4th. In behind them is Equilateral. I'll Take Charge at the back with 6 lengths to make up. And Jet Majesty to catch after a 49 1/2 mile. And now the field races for the far turn. Jet Majesty the leader. Mei Ling 3/4 of a length behind. Outside of them moving up is Silver Pockets Full. Then Just Got Out to the inside. Followed by Equilateral and I'll Take Charge as they make their way around the far turn. Jet Majesty, Mei Ling, and outside of them it's Silver Pockets Full. These 3 turning for home together. I'll Take Charge comes up on the far outside of Equilateral and Just Got Out cuts the corner. They're into the stretch. And it is Jet Majesty and Mei Ling. Mei Ling and Jet Majesty into the final furlong. I'll Take Charge, trying to close in on the far outside. Then Silver Pockets Full. Now it's Mei Ling in front. I'll Take Charge, and on the inside, Jet Majesty. It's going to be Mei Ling. Mei Ling to win. Tight second, maybe Jet Majesty, and a photo with I'll Take Charge.
Empire Maker filly would not be denied. Mei Ling's run 3 times this year for Todd Pletcher. All 3 have been solid. John Velasquez, the black and white, and that pink leg band for Fabulous Phillies Day. It all worked out in the 7th.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those riders doing that today. Nice that they, are so involved and, acutely aware of the social issues in the world outside of racing as well. Mei Ling, 3rd, 2nd, rounded the form, gets the money here. Gets the trip she wants. She wants to be in the clear, 2nd, 3rd, stalking. Last year she had 2 bad runs in Saratoga, 1 on the turf. But then if you look at the second one, it wasn't as bad as it first looked. She was beaten by House Rules. House Rules is a multiple graded stake win in Philly now. It's a little easier company.
All right, Todd Pletcher, Johnny V, Barry K. Schwartz, Jet Majesty, the New York bred overachieved at a big price. The terrific trio coming your way. A little try box on this Thursday edition of Insider. Let's do it. 3, 8, and 10. Short, sweet, Larry Comas.
Town Time is the leader as they come into the final furlong. Battle Red on the inside is second. Ready for You trying to get going from 3rd, but it's Spitestown Time to catch. Angel Cruz and Spitestown Time have the lead. And then it's Battle Red, Ready for You on the outside, and Path Dependent, Spitestown Time. Won it by 2.5 lengths. And then it was Battle Red second, followed by Path Dependent and Ready for You. With the rail in the lead, Blarp on the outside is Come On Now with a rush. Harpoon is also gaining ground in the middle of the course. But as they come into the final furlong, it is Blarp. And he's got a 3-length lead on Harpoon and America's Guest. And the winner is Blarp. Then it was Harpoon, followed by America's Guest and Inventor's Guest. Running after Alapatique as they turn for home. Then Tis for Daddy, Bird Humor, LaFleur County, and Ganso trying to make a run between horses as they come to the final furlong. It is Call Daddy in front. From Alapatique on the inside as they come down to the line. Call Daddy and Arad Ortiz Jr. pull away to win it by 2. Alapatique was second, Ganso was third, and Tis for Daddy was fourth.
bucking the trend of single winning trainers on today's card. It was Gary Gullo who hit that double down the right field wall, and it worked out with Call Daddy in the nightcap.
Yeah, Gary Gullo's just had a terrific year all around, and a little slow off the mark in Saratoga, but he knocks out 2 today, so he signaled he's here and he's doing well. Terrific trainer as well.
How about the boys, the brothers? Jose won 3, Irad won 2, and let's backtrack for a second look, and we'll check out young Angel Cruz, the youngsters doing well on day number 18. Speightstown time. Firster by Speightstown, Colt, in fact, for Charles Fipke, the famed gemologist. Barkley tag, and just a solid effort first time out.
Yeah, the most interesting race of the day, Speightstown time. You know, Battle Red has been favored in all of his starts, and he was favored again, and he's got 7 starts with 5 seconds going in today. Comes out of it with 6 seconds. This is the kind of favorite you want to try to beat. And when you looked at the field, the most logical horse that could beat him was a first-time starter with good works from Barkley Tag, who's been doing well with first-time starters. Actually, 1260, that was very generous, I thought, on this horse.
All right, good speed throughout. Good to see Barkley Tag doing well. Now 3 for 9 this meet. He also had that 2-year-old Firster Realm score here
good
on opening Saturday of the meet. Indeed, he looked very good, Mig. As does Jose Ortiz. We get his picture up because, well, if you win 3 in one day at the spa, you're going to get your mug shot up there, but it's a mug shot in a good way. Hat trick for him, and he is currently 4th in the standings, Meg, with 14.
Just a terrific amount of talent. Look at, Irad Ortiz riding lights out, Johnny Velasquez, Hall of Famer, Javier Castellano, future Hall of Famer, and everybody else. Great colony.
And things have heated up and tightened up in the trainer standings. Both Todd and Chad walked away with a victory today.
Yeah, to think back years ago when it was a 24-day meet, the leading trainer would win sometimes with as little as 8 victories.
Wow.
These guys, whole different generation, a lot more horses, and they run in bunches.
Blarp won a race today. He was claimed, in fact, I believe. I saw that on Twitter. Race number 8. We do have 2 pages to bring you. A bunch of claims out of races 4 and 5. America's guest to John Terranova, who's being quite active in the claim box. He's on Andy Serling's show tonight at the Parting Glass, 8 p.m., in fact, at the Post Live. And there you go, Blarp. 2-way shake. I like the way Larry Colma says it. Look who's up next with him, Joe Sharp.
Yeah, and 3 claims out of the last, and 2 5-way shakes. A lot of claiming going on in Saratoga.
August 3rd, 1863. We're still going strong, and we're back for a Friday preview. Welcome back, Insider in the home stretch, much like Penn National, as we look at strict compliance in the Penn Oaks.
Yeah, where she got position, she laid up close, she was resolute in victory, came back with a big effort in the Belmont Oaks, where she was basically shuffled back after a sluggish start and ran a winning race, only beaten 3.5 lengths. You got to think this is an easier spot than the Belmont Oaks.
And trainer Chad Brown has got Friday's featured 32nd running of the Maker's Mark Lake Placid surrounded. He's got Consumer Credit, strict compliance. They book in the field. Here is Consumer Credit at the Big A.
Yeah, she's got a great inside post. This is her last victory, Memories of Silver. She has... I thought she disappointed in the Belmont Oaks. I thought her effort, even though she was only beaten 3 3/4 lengths, was flat.
How about Sentiro Italia dropping out of the Belmont Oaks? Beaten 3 and change by Lady Eli. Her races before that were powerful, including this one at Belmont.
Yeah, they were very strong, but she's still got to kind of pass the acid test for me and step up and beat graded kind of company. Obviously, she's got the pedigree. She's got the right trainer. She's got the right rider. She should be very tough, but she still has to prove it to me.
Motion Johnny B with Miss Temple City. Back from Ascot after losing the Coronation Stakes at Group 1 by only 2. She had won the Hilltop Prix this week.
Only beaten 2 lengths in the Coronation at Royal Ascot, a Grade 1. We saw the horse of George Weaver's the other day. I'm not going to pronounce his name. Cyclogenesis. I didn't want to try to pull that one off. Run big here the other day, coming back from the same trip. Why can't this filly rebound? That's who I like.
And Heath has stepped up her game with each subsequent turf race on the year. She's by Pulpit, the late Pulpit, and a younger half-sister to Lee.
Well, and I think Heath could get loose in this spot. There's not an abundance of speed here, and she could show some speed at a square price. I like speed. They got to catch you. Maybe they use her speed, and she gets an advantage.
All right. What'd you say earlier in the show regarding speed? That quote from Wall Street?
Speed is good.
Speed is good. We head right out with that in mind. Andy and Maggie for Friday's Plays.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, there are a lot of interesting races on Friday's card. Not an easy card, but opportunities galore for some price plays. I'm going to try to get our pain over with very early in the first race. And the first race has a drop-down layoff and ground force. I don't want to bet them. You got horses like Slanabalia and even Mr. Masterby for David Jacobson. They could win. I'm not thrilled. The 4 High Roller Dave. Last time was the time for trainer Mike Maker. I like the 6 Rockford. Turning back in distance for Chris Englehart. This horse has got races that make him a contender. And you know me, I'm a sucker for a turn back. And as opposed to some others, there's more recency in New York with Rockford for me. I'll take the turn back in the first, the 6 Rockford, as we head to Maggie.
All right, guys, looking forward to the Friday card here at the Spa. Going to check in with the New York bred main special weight. More sprinting. Got to love those turf sprinters. As second-time starter, Wicked Freud will go out for Jimmy Ryerson. Ran second in debut. Showed good stalking speed from that far outside post. Never easy when you're either in the inside or on the far outside when making your debut here. But the fact that he was quick enough kind of encourages me for going the 5.5 tomorrow. He was very professional. He was just the quintessential kind of turf sprinter as far as physicality was concerned, and just got a little tired going the 6, so having that race under his belt should prep him up very nicely for tomorrow's 4th race. That's your Paddock Insider. It's Wicked Freud for tomorrow. Jay, Mig, back to you.
It's hard to imagine when you get days like today and Mother Nature has been friendly to us all meet long that you might even need an umbrella, but just in case, maybe the fall when we get down to the Big A. Wednesday, August 19th, next Wednesday. How about a little red and white Saratoga umbrella, Mig?
Yeah, you just need it now to just block the sun. Every day's sunny in Saratoga.
Gorgeous. We'll do it all again here tomorrow, Friday, first race post of 1 p.m., and we give a salute to Fabulous Phillies Day. It was a good one here at Saratoga Racecourse.